Hi, and welcome. Welcome to day 14. We're our final 7 days of the practices together for those of you that have been continuing or beginning from day one. Here we are in new angle in my in my living room. I want to, for this week, we're going to work on themes, just putting together everything that we've learned and trying to kind of discover or enhance your awareness of how your body moves, of how you breathe, of how you support yourself. So today is all about support, finding support. And I think this is a time in our lives where many of us have needed to look for extra support, either from within or from beyond ourselves. So I'm going to try to challenge that for a moment in the practices today and see if you can play a little bit with the idea of asking for support, receiving support, feeling support, using a wall. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few moments to look around the space that you're in and find a wall that is pretty clear. You want about a meter, 3 foot about, for yourself. I don't have such a wall, so I have a fabulously obstructed wall, but I'm well used to doing these practices, so I will be okay. But for the rest of you, try and find a space in a wall that is clear. Okay, so I'm going to sort myself out. If you can get your mat and double it over and put it beside the wall, beside the skirting board, as I've done here. And then we're going to bring ourselves to standing. So this is our first time to standing in the rising practices. And I want to do it with a sense of support. So holding on, using that sensation of being held up by the wall behind you. All right. So when you have sorted your mat out and brought yourself back to your wall, we're going to begin with the difficult version. So the difficult version is heels against the skirting board or against the base of the wall that you're at. And then bending your knees ever so slightly, allowing your sit bones to work down towards the ground, towards the skirting board, so not back towards the wall. And just acknowledging that there is a natural curve in the lower back, in the lumbar spine, and just let that be there. But you want to try to take your back ribs towards the wall. So pushing the back ribs back, pushing the shoulder blades back. So working those shoulders back and down, and working the back of the head with the chin in and the back of the head towards the wall. It doesn't need to push all the way back to the wall, but it's certainly not. Your chin isn't out and away from the wall. So just see how this goes. This is the difficult version, the heels against the wall. So breathing into that, the feet together is the difficult version. If this feels really awkward, work the feet a bit wider, about hip width apart. And what we're really trying to do here is get the back ribs against the wall and the shoulder blades against the wall, working the sit bones down. A little bend in the knees, keep it nice and soft, and push through the feet. And just acknowledge how this is, closing the eyes and breathing in and out of the nostrils. If this is too much for you with the heels against the wall, inch the feet forward a little bit, away from the wall, and then sit back into it again, bending the knees. You can work the feet wide, breathing in and out of the nostrils. So in this class, I'd like you to really acknowledge, this first exercise has started with the difficult version, heels against the wall. Really acknowledge if you need to adjust, if you need to offer yourself support, if you need to look for help. So if you need to adjust, do. If you need to walk the feet forward a little, do. If you need to walk the feet wider, do. And then sense how it is to receive that support. And allow yourself to soften into it, to adjust to being supported here and now. Breathing in and out of the nostrils, breath moving down to the abdomen. Rising as you breathe in, falling as you breathe out. And if you haven't closed the eyes already, do so now. And then see what it might feel like with the heels either against the wall or the heels a couple of, maybe an inch away from the wall. See what it might feel like with the eyes closed to slowly push the weight away from the wall to the fronts of the feet. Well done, without sticking the ribs out. And then slowly bring yourself back to the wall. And try this a few times, pushing forward and back with the eyes closed. And this is challenging. Forward and back. If it's too difficult with the eyes closed, just bringing your gaze down to the ground. Forward and back, transferring the weight. And then sensing here and now your preferred position. Away from the wall or against the wall. And listening to yourself, listening to your truth at this time in your day. Breathing in and out. Well done, and opening the eyes and allowing yourself to smile. Beautiful. Okay, from here, let's walk the feet even further. So a nice step forward or a foot length forward away from the skirting board. Feet hip width apart, spread the toes nice and wide, and then bend the knees, allowing your sit bones to drop down as far as you can comfortably go. So you might need to walk the feet a little further. You don't have to go right all the way down into a right angle, just wherever is good for you. Again, back ribs against the wall, shoulder blades against the wall, and releasing the hands down. And breathing into this. So nice activation through the thigh muscles here. Breathe and smile. I'm going to distract you a little bit and talk to you here. So yoga practice is practice for life. It's a life practice. So we do things on a mat in a semi-formal way, a formal way possibly if we're practicing every day. But the skills that we acquire on our mat space are to support us beyond in our everyday lives. So sometimes we offer ourselves challenges. We try to ask ourselves to do things, difficult things in yoga practice, wrap ourselves up in knots, but we're always trying to do it in a balanced and relaxed way. We're trying to breathe in and out. And if we cannot do that, then there's no point in doing it. So we step by step teach ourselves how to deal with stresses, how to deal with strains and tensions in our lives. Pushing into the feet, I hope that distracted you, and release up into those thighs. Well done. From here, we're going to have a little soft bend in the knees, so nothing like before. And then we're going to slowly ease ourselves away from the wall to take your elbows onto your thighs or onto your knees. Drop your shoulders so your neck is nice and long, and just have a look down at your toes there. And breathe in and out. Well done. Slowly push your hands onto your thighs, push into those hands, and ease yourself slowly back to the wall. You can give the legs a little straighten. We'll try it one more time, bending the knees just a little softly. Elbows onto the thighs or onto the knees. Pause there, shoulders down. And now we're going to begin to walk your hips up the wall as if climbing up a ladder upstairs, walking them up. And see how that goes. So you're going to get a little bit of activation now through the backs of the legs. See how that is? And then if it feels okay, allow the head to drop, looking down, possibly allow the belly to drop down onto the thighs, but you keep the knees bent, possibly hands to the feet or to the ground, or possibly arms wrapped behind the legs, head down. Breathe into this. Feel the belly resting on the thighs if you're in that forward bending position. 2 more breaths. And then slowly crawling the hands up the legs, up the thighs, pushing down, and slowly back to the wall. Breathing in and out. Well done. Okay, we'll try that again. Coming forward, elbows to thighs to start. Then releasing the elbows, maybe taking belly to thighs. Allow the head to drop, the arms to drop. So this is our first standing forward bend of the series that we've been practicing. And see if you can hang out here using the support of the wall, the support of the floor underneath the feet, allowing the head and the shoulders and the neck to drop. And breathe into this, enjoying the sensation of a forward fold. Release the heavy head, let it go. Breathe in and out. Stay looking down, crawling the hands back up the legs. Take your time. You can hang out with elbows on the thighs, then hands onto the thighs. Push your sit bones down and ease yourself back up. Pause for a moment, breathing in and out. Last time, slowly easing forward. Allow your sit bones to travel up the wall, hanging out there. If you feel nicely balanced and really steady, you can move your weight forward towards the toes a little. You can push your hands against the wall to help you with this. And just hang out without the wall. See how that goes. Keep the knees nicely bent, drop the head. And if at any time it feels too much, dropping the hips back against the wall. So you can push your hands against the wall, rock forward, and come back with your hips against the wall again at any time. Breathing in and out, head down. Move your hips back against the wall. Your buttocks, your sit bones against the wall. Crawling your hands back up the thighs, elbows onto the knees, hands onto the thighs, gliding right back up to that upright position again. Breathe in and breathe all the way out. Well done. You should feel a nice sense of energy and achievement and support from those movements that we've just done. Hands against the wall now, pushing away. Okay, so from here we're going to come into the spinal movements that you are familiar with and add a few more. We're going to take the side bend. So I'd like you to work very close to the wall, so your inside arm is touching the wall and shoulder. Breathe there. Now your heels can move a little further away from the wall. And then we're going to reach up with the outside hand. I have my left arm up towards the ceiling and reach up into that monkey bar action that I've talked to you about before. So reaching up with the fingers, up with the elbow, with the shoulder blade, and then at the same time working your sit bones down, your front ribs in. Breathe into this. So your hand is not behind your head. Sorry, your upper arm isn't behind your head. The upper arm, the bicep is slightly forward of the shoulder. And then see what it might feel like to slide the inside arm down the wall and then possibly the upper arm towards the wall without twisting out to the front or without twisting down to the ground. Breathing into that. Well done. Without twisting the chest up to the ceiling or down to the ground. Good. One more breath here. Slowly reaching that upper arm up towards the sky. Bend the elbow and release down. Good. Give the fingers a little shake. And now we're going to turn towards the wall. You're going to get a nice view of me here. Excuse me. If you haven't done this before, it's downward dog with the wall. If you haven't done it before, just watch for a moment. So your hands are shoulder height. Find that height on the wall. And my wall isn't great at all for this one. I'm going to push my hands at shoulder height against the wall, yeah, and then push back so that my arms are fully straight, so straight as I can. Then walking my feet back, bending the knees. This is important. You don't need to pull off the backs of the legs, and then allow the chest to drop down towards the ground. So I just have to adjust my hands a little bit for my funky wall that I have here. Spread the fingers really wide, chest dropping down, torso parallel to the ground, and breathe into this. Start with bent knees. So we're going to really feel that pushing action of the shoulder blades against the wall. So pushing into the wrists, and the shoulder blades are lifting, tracking up the spine towards the shoulders, and at the same time you're dropping the head and the torso down. Try not to let your front ribs fall to the ground, pull them in, and then feel your sit bones pushing down to your heels. Breathe here, spread the fingers wide. You can have a little wiggle right and left. We've practiced this on the chair. This is a different way of doing this downward dog, and we have done downward dog on the mat as well. We'll be coming back to it in the next few days. Breathe in and out. Sense how it is to feel that support from the wall. Breathe in and out. One more breath. Well done. Bending the knees, move your head to look to the wall. And now we're just going to go into a runner's stretch, but we call it warrior pose in yoga. So we're going to step one foot in towards the skirting board, push your hands into the wall and try to stretch out that back calf. Well done. See if you can bend the back knee a little bit and pull your front ribs in, drop your sit bones down, breathe. Pushing your hands into the walls, feel how it is to really receive that support. Well done. Step it back into your downward dog, stretching the hips, wiggling them from side to side, working those shoulder blades up towards the wall, press into the hands, try to roll your biceps up towards the ceiling. Bend the knees and then taking that other leg lunge, breathe into it, stretching into the back calf, pressing down with the shoulders, ribs in. One more breath. Allow yourself to enjoy this. Step back one more time, have a little wiggle right and left. Feel both sides of the body really long. Feel the whole of the spine long. Good. Bending the knees, look to the wall, and then take your time to walk all the way in. Well done, all the way in so that the inside of the left arm is against the wall. Your heels are slightly away. And then reaching up with that outer arm, up to those monkey bars. Feel that lift of the shoulder blade, the elbow, the wrist, the fingers, all the way up. Bend the knees a little, sit bones down, breathe into it, and then see what it might feel like to reach that top arm over the head. Just watch that your chest isn't rolling in or rolling out. Breathe. Neck is happy. Reach up towards the ceiling, bend the elbow and down. Beautiful. From here, stepping away from the wall, just reaching your hands back so that you can find the wall and then come to a little bent elbow. So you're on your fingertips, a bent elbow against the wall. So a little closer for yourself. Releasing the hands. Good. Fingertips to shoulders now. Bend your knees. Feet are hip width apart. And we're going to twist belly, chest and shoulders to the wall, moving your head and neck with you. Good. Keep your right hip, if you're twisting to the right, try to twist your right hip back to the front of your mat. Good. Move your head to look in front, unravel. And then we go to the other side, twisting belly, chest and shoulders to the left. Good. Try to keep your left hip coming forward. Move your head to look forward, unravel the twist. Now this time, twisting again to the right, belly, chest and shoulders, and see if you can reach your right hand, the back arm, to the wall and breathe into that. Good. And then maybe, possibly, the left hand as well. Breathing. Enjoy this twist. As you reach to the wall, you don't have to have two hands, just one hand. As you reach to the wall, try to bring your back hip and twist it forward to the front of your mat. Good. Make sure your neck is okay. Releasing it. Move the head to look in front. Slowly hands to the shoulders and unravel that twist. That twist with the wall. I hope you do too. Twist belly, chest and shoulders. See if you can try the opposite hand to reach back. Good. Maybe the front hand to reach back. See if you can twist a little further and then that back hip, twist it to the front. Good. Breathe in and out. Move the head to look in front and unravel. Beautiful. Arms lift up above the head. Have a good old stretch out there. Sit bones down. And you might like to find that forward fold for yourself. Bending your knees, belly to thighs, chest down, head down. Breathe in and out. And from here, come down onto your knees and then all the way to sitting with your back against the wall. Beautiful. Finding the support of the wall. You can use a cushion under your bum and sit up nice and tall. You can have crossed legs or feet on the mat, whatever works for you. Neck nice and long, shoulder blades back against the wall, closing the eyes. And sensing how it is to feel that support from the ground and from the wall. Receiving it here and now. Offering yourself kindness by receiving the support. Often it's challenging for us to look for help or support, to receive it. So using this practice this morning as practice for your real life, looking for help when you need it, asking for support when it's required, and receiving it. Breathe in and out of the nostrils, down to the belly. Counting 5 rounds of breath now, from 5 down to 1. Inhale and exhale is 5. Inhale and exhale 4. Continue in your own rhythm. If you wish, you're trying to get into that equal length of breath in and out. 2 more. Last one. And then ever so gently opening your eyes, placing your hand on your heart space. Pausing here with all of your focus at your heart center and acknowledging all that you are glad for in your life, all of your appreciations and gratitudes here and now. Picking out 3 that come to the fore, allowing the corners of the mouth to turn up to the ears in a smile, offering yourself gladness and respect and kindness, and then offering that generosity out beyond yourself as far as you can allow it to reach, back to your heart center. Well done, everyone. Namaste. If you have time in your practice, you might like to try legs up the wall now and feel the support of the wall, just to rest for maybe another 5 minutes. Thank you all for joining me. We'll be back again tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to focus on finding balance. If you've enjoyed these practices, please consider donating to the Galway Simon community. They really need your support at this time. Thank you all. Namaste.